Oh, snap. Welcome back to the Mystery Project, y'all. We're also live on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. How's it going? Great to see everybody. My name's Patrick. YouTube, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button if you're new. We're going to talk about some Karen Read action, y'all. We got a little Karen Read action. Expert details. Key pieces of evidence in the Karen Read trial. I hope you guys are ready. Let's do this. I'm going to shrink myself down. That messed up. Let's do... Oh, well, apparently YouTube doesn't want me to do... Oh, there it goes. All right, you guys ready? Let's do this.
Number of items in that bag.
That's correct.
And during that break, did we have a chance to look inside the bag,
Yes.
accompanied by counsel for the defense?
Yes.
When items are stored in a bag, is it common for them to be transferred to other locations other than your evidence locker?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase that information?
Yeah, what the heck are you talking
When
about?
you
question?
store a piece of evidence in an evidence bag and you put it in the evidence locker for safekeeping, does the evidence sometimes travel to other places?
Yes.
If it's tested for other types of information, maybe DNA or biological fluids, can that item be transferred to another department?
Yes.
Is sometimes that item brought back and forth to court for other proceedings?
Yes.
And do you know if this item has been on different travels over time?
I do know that it went into several different units within the laboratory, yes.
When you opened up the bag and you said the housing was in that bag, the other items that were in the bag, do you know when they were put in there?
No, I do not.
Do they appear to be pieces that are consistent with the taillight housing?
I can't testify to whether or not they're consistent.
Okay. When you saw the pieces, do you know whether or not any of the pieces broke off that taillight housing?
I do not know.
The taillight housing, did it have any
do
loose
not know.
pieces when you first retrieved it from the Canton Police Department?
No, it did not. It had missing pieces, but nothing was loose on the taillight housing itself at the time that I collected it.
And the loose pieces on the bottom of that bag, they were in the bag when you opened it this morning?
Yes, that's correct.
The loose pieces, last time you had an opportunity to open that bag was how long ago?
The only time I opened that, the packaging for the taillight housing was in the laboratory when I first examined it in 2023.
And do you have any indication this has passed many hands or hands since then?
I do know that that item went to the trace unit after I examined it.
Those loose pieces in the bottom of the bag, I'm going to ask you to keep them with the taillight housing.
Okay.
And I'm going to move that piece of evidence. Evidence, I may have one moment.
Okay.
Yes.
No, hell.
Okay.
What do y'all think? Is Karen Read gonna... Is she gonna get off?
One last question. When a bag is opened by somebody who's examining it, if there are small loose pieces accompanying the item, is it ever packaged in separate baggies or containers?
In the criminalistics unit, so I can only speak for myself and my individual examination, if there are loose items within the item that's packaged with it, I would separate it and potentially separate into a smaller package and put it inside the larger container so that it doesn't get lost.
In addition to the loose pieces in the bottom of that
Oh, man. Sharon, I wish I could, but TikTok won't let me. But we are live on YouTube where you can see the video. If you just search for The Mystery Project, you can find it.
bag, do you see separate small containers, packaging of
Yeah.
smaller pieces?
Yes, there were two smaller containers within that larger bag.
And those smaller packages that are separate from the actual larger item, did you put smaller pieces in those small bags?
I did not do that.
It's done by somebody other than you.
At some point, yes.
Okay. I now move to introduce that into evidence.
No objection, subject to the explanation and cross-examination, Your Honor.
Okay.
Could you present
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Thanks for the hearts, y'all.
Yes.
And she takes it serious, huh? Carol, thank you for that.
The whole bag.
Yes. And you can keep the gloves on. I just want to be able to show the small.
Oh,
separate
okay, that's fine. I'll just get in here.
after it's marked.
Sure.
Exhibit 146.
You've already showed us the housing. Can you show us some of the small pieces in the bottom of the bag and also the small separate packaging that you did not package?
Yes.
Thank you.
No hell. Small pieces in the bottom of the bag. She just pulls out like Jack in the Box. Oh no, this is my lunch. I don't know how my lunch got in there. This is my lunch. These are my tacos.
Could you explain what those are?
These are two small glassine envelopes that were in the container.
Any markings on those envelopes?
Yes. Would you like me to read them?
Please.
Some of it is illegible to me. I didn't write it. I'm sorry. It appears to be at least the second half of the case number. It's possible that's the 2202184. 3-1 pieces E, G, I'm not sure if it's an M or an H, I, S, K. This also has a case number 22-02184. 3-1 assorted small pieces.
Thank you. And was there any pieces that weren't packaged other than the housing in that bag?
Yes.
Hey, could you show us, please?
Break it out. Let's see it. Oh my god, this is my Del Taco. This is my burrito. I was looking for it yesterday. I don't know why I went half Australian there.
This item was also located in the bag.
What is that? What is this item? Looks like a little tiny golf club.
And these two items were also located in the bag.
Thank you very much.
Just some broken tail light pieces. What do y'all think? Is she gonna get off? Put it in the comments, would you? Would you?
May I approach?
Yes.
I'll take that.
Thank you.
Dallas.
When you brought the taillight housing back to the lab, did you take it out of the bag and do anything with it?
Yes, during my examination, I did remove it from the bag to look at it.
When you, after you looked at it or during your observations, did you take any samples from it?
Yes, I did.
Explain to us what you did.
I took a polyester swab, I moistened it with sterile water, and then I applied that swab to the external front areas of the taillight.
Why did you do that?
Sweet Jesus.
My goal was to collect any potential biological material that was present on the exterior of the taillight.
Did you engage in
I
that
wonder if she
procedure
did.
pursuant to your
Dear Lord, why does this lady look like she's like, I want to get out of here so I can go cosplay as an elf?
training and experience?
Yes, I did.
Lady looks like she beat every single Legend of Zelda, like all of them.
If we could have former P-187 back on the screen, which is now an exhibit. Could you use the pointer and the television to your right? Could you show us or show the jury where you took a swab? What areas?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I took my collection from this upper right-hand corner, the red apparent plastic, as well from this area down here, another piece of red plastic, and then these clear apparent plastic here on the front of the taillight housing.
If you hit somebody with that, doesn't it leave something? You know what I mean? Like clothing fibers, skin, blood, hair, like something. You know what I mean? And doesn't that person also have crazy amounts of like bruising or broken bone or something?
Basically, any areas that would have been
Tammy, yes, it's on YouTube. The Mystery Project. We're live over there as well. TikTok won't let me show you the cases, but on YouTube you can. So come on over. The Mystery Project on YouTube.
exposed when the tail light was intact.
Why do you take the swab and go to multiple different parts of an item?
The goal of this collection was just to determine if there's any biological material in that area. And there's no forensic relevance related to if it came from the upper right or the lower left. I took that collection as a whole. And in addition, there was a very small surface area to begin with.
When you took the swab, did you run it along the breaks in the red part?
Like the edges here?
Yes, the edges.
It's possible, yes, that I collected from those edges.
Do you have a memory of what part you actually swabbed?
Gary, that's
I
crazy.
remember swabbing the external areas of the taillight, those that would have been
Thank you, Grace.
on the outside prior to any
That's right,
damage being done.
Okay. Thank you. You can take that down, please. After you engage in the procedure of taking a swab, what do you do to preserve that swab?
That swab is air dried. It's then repackaged in a small glassine envelope. A portion of the swab is also put in a clear plastic tube, which is sent forward to the DNA unit.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Why do you go through that type of procedure? Why do you take that many steps?
I'm sorry, may I correct my answer
Please.
from the last question?
Please.
My apologies. So in this particular instance, the entire swab was cut up and put into plastic tubes for further testing.
Why did you do it that way?
This item was quantity limited. The swab itself was quantity limited, meaning that they'd have to use up the whole swab in order to run DNA analysis.
Did you do DNA analysis on the swab?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I don't work in the DNA unit, so that is the job of a different analyst.
And at some point, did you take that item that had been preserved and put it
DNA
into
unit.
evidence?
Yes, I did.
They got many units of DNA in the unit. In the DNA unit. VB, thank you for the roses. Desiree, thank you for roses. Thank you. Yeah, Tammy, it's a lot better on YouTube. Plus, when we finish this one, we'll go and we'll listen and watch all the stuff that like is way too much for talk. It's like the too much for talk. Talk shuts it all down typically, but yeah. So y'all, the Mystery Project on YouTube. Make sure you come subscribe. There's a lot of people handling the evidence, though, huh?
Were you shown a bag full of red plastic cups with an item in it when you were at the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I was.
Could we have Exhibit 56, please? Thank you.
Man,
This
that
is
is crazy.
a photograph that's been marked as an exhibit. Do you recognize what's in that exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
Those are 6 red plastic cups that contained frozen red-brown stains.
Frozen red brown stains. Y'all, it looks like they were playing beer pong with evidence. That is crazy.
Did you do anything relative to the
Thanks for the
content
follow.
of those cups?
I took a collection from one of the cups using 2 sterile cotton swabs.
And can you just briefly explain what that process entails?
Yes. I allowed the frozen red brown stains to thaw. I applied sterile water to 2 cotton swabs, and then I applied it to one of the red brown stained cups to collect the material from inside.
How do you preserve and maintain the integrity of whatever sample you collect?
That sample is then entered into a glassine envelope, a large aluminum envelope. It is then sealed with my initials and date. It is given an independent item number and stored within the proper unit within the lab.
You take that down. Thank you.
No, hell.
At some point, did you look at clothing?
Yes, I did.
Where did you look at clothing?
I examined the clothing from this case at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
Was the items brought to the crime laboratory?
Yes, they were.
Did you have a chance to unpackage them?
Yes, I did.
When you received them, how were they stored?
They were stored in brown paper bags and potentially boxes. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, hell.
And-
Look, the scissors right next to her. Imagine like this dude, like her husband, like them going on a date. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm going to sit at this table. Thank you, waiter. I'm going to have the steak. I would like it cooked medium rare. I would like the pommes frites. I will be having a glass of your house Merlot.
Did you look at a number of different items of clothing?
Yes, I did.
She seems really nice. I'm just kidding. I'm
Can I
being
approach, Your Honor?
facetious.
I'm going to show you a series of 4 photographs. I'm going to ask you about each one of them
I hate when they walk away from the mic like that. Oh, she, thank you.
individually.
Hey, hi, Patrick. Nope, it's me.
You recognize the first photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph I took of a gray sweatshirt.
Does that photograph accurately depict the sweatshirt as it appeared to you when you looked at it?
Yes, it does.
You look at the second photograph, please. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is an additional photograph of the front of the gray sweatshirt where I had put some markings on the sweatshirt.
Why did you put markings on the sweatshirt?
These markings specifically are noting areas of damage.
Third photograph, please.
Oh, hell.
Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what's in that photograph?
This is a close-up photo of the area of damage that I denoted as 1.
And a fourth photograph, please. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a close-up of area damage 1.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day when you examined this particular item?
Yes.
Can I move these 4 photographs into evidence?
I could just see them quickly. Thank you, Mr. Brennan. No objection, Your Honor.
So let's mark them one exhibit A, B, C, D, please.
This lady looks like if she wasn't
147A, B, C, and
a
D.
crime lab technician, she'd be like a 3rd grade teacher.
Thank you.
Oh, see, thank you.
With the court's permission, could we please show former P-190 to the jury?
Yes.
I have no idea what that is, Tommy. That's what I was thinking too. They just passed her right there too. I have no idea what the stenographer, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right there. What is that? What is that? What is that? Anybody know? Put it in the comments. What is that thing that she's got right there? She's like holding over her face.
Is that one of the photographs you just recognized?
Yes, it is.
And could you explain to us what you see?
This is the exterior front of the gray sweatshirt.
Kind of looks like she figured out how to vape in court.
There is linear damage between the top and bottom of the sweatshirt, as well as linear damage across each sleeve of the sweatshirt.
Do you see the cut down the front of that sweatshirt?
That's probably from the EMTs.
Yes.
Did you distinguish that cut as any different than the damage on the arm?
I did not do any damage analysis on that particular area of damage.
Why not?
Typically in these type of events, you'll see those types of damage associated with clothing being removed from emergency medical technicians, so they're not forensically relevant.
That part.
Thank you. If we could turn now to former P-194.
By the way, YouTube, do me a favor. Y'all hit the thumbs up button. Let's get 50 likes. TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, we're live every night.
Is this the same sweatshirt?
Yes, it is.
There's a little bit difference. There's markings or tabs on it.
Yes, that's correct.
What are you doing there?
I put tabs on each of the areas of damage on the sleeve and 2 on the chest that I was going to examine further.
When you put the tabs on, do you write a report or mark it in any way to memorialize it in case the tabs fall off?
Yes, in this case, they were marked tabs 1 through 9. Those are not permanent on the sweatshirt. They're actually just pieces of filter paper that I used to mark it.
Could we,
Oh, no.
Ms. Gilman, zoom in on that right arm, please? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What is written on those tabs?
Each tab has a number on it that corresponds with an area of damage that I examined.
And when you write a report, when you memorialize it, is that keep an accounting of each
Yes, that's correct.
If we could turn now to
Thank you.
form of P196, which is 147C. What does that depict, ma'am?
That is a close-up of the area of damage 1 that I did further examination on.
Could we zoom in a little bit on the circle part? Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what it looked like when you examined it?
Yes, it is.
And finally, if we could have P197, which is Exhibit 147D. What are you doing there?
That's a close-up photo of that same area of damage 1 with a scale included.
We just saw a close-up
hell.
of one of the
Gotcha,
holes that
thank
was
you.
marked number 1. Did you do the same analysis for each and every one of those areas that you marked?
Yes, I did.
And did you look close up at each and every one of them and measure each and every one of them?
Yes, I did.
Are there photographs showing all of those different angles for each and every hole that you went through?
Yes, I took numerous photographs of each area of damage.
You could take that down, please.
Duchess Desiree,
In
thank you.
addition to that sweatshirt, did you look at any other
Happy
clothing
days,
items?
thank you.
Yes, I did.
Court's permission, can I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, hell. Yeah, what is that? She's got, like, courtroom
I'm showing you two
apnea?
photographs. If you could look at the first one, do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is item 7-17. It's an orange T-shirt.
Does she just say the words into that? Like whatever she hears, she just repeats it? And it types it? Man, that would be crazy as hell.
Thank you.
Is that what it really is?
Depiction of the
That's nuts.
T-shirt when you examined it.
Yes, it is.
And the second photograph, please take a look.
Yes.
Do you recognize what's in that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is the other side of the orange T-shirt.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the T-shirt when you examined it?
Yes, it is.
All right, move these two photographs into evidence, please.
No objection, Your Honor.
Right, thank you.
Well, it's going full on Grand Theft Auto outside the courthouse.
Well,
Exhibits 148 A and B.
It does look funny as hell. I was like, what the? What is she
with the court's
doing?
permission, I'd like to show P232 to the jury.
Okay.
I thought she was a member of Congress falling asleep. That happened today, y'all.
Could
Look
you
that
tell us
one
what
up.
you see?
Term
That is a
limit-
photograph of item 7-17. Is the back of the orange T-shirt.
Could we zoom a little in on the numbers on the bottom, Ms. Gilman? What's that on the bottom?
That is the case number, the individual item number for that T-shirt, my initials, and the date that I examined it, or the date that I took the photo.
Gracie, right?
So you had obtained this item on that date, or this is when you examined it and already had it?
That is the date that I opened it up, examined it, and took the photo.
And on the left, what's that ruler used for?
That's a scale just to show the size of the item.
Could we zoom back
When
out
did
and get a
this
full look
happen?
at that?
This happened like February of 2022.
Thank you. If you could turn
January,
next to
February 2022.
P233, Ms. Gilman.
And it got examined a year and a half later.
What is that a photograph of?
That is a photograph of the front of the orange T-shirt, item 7-17.
Ms. Gilman, can we first see the bottom left-hand corner? Zoomed in a little bit. Thank you. Why did you place a marker there?
I used markers on this item to note areas of staining that I was going to do further analysis on.
Did you do further analysis of that
129.
stain area?
Yes, I did.
And how did you do that? Any different than the swab you talked about before?
This I screened for blood, and I'd have to check my notes for any further testing I did on it.
When you screened it for blood, was it a positive or negative result?
That was positive.
Do you know if you did anything further with it?
May I check my notes?
With the
Yes.
court's permission? Thank you.
Can you turn the lights up, please? Thank you.
Oh, hell.
Please.
Yes, I also performed a confirmatory test for blood on that stain.
So what's the difference between a preliminary and a confirmatory test?
A screening
got
test, other types of materials may cause a positive reaction. For the confirmatory test, it is confirmatory for blood, as well as it indicates human blood, although you might get a positive reaction from primate blood or ferret blood.
Can we now turn to the top right
Prime ape or ferret? That's weird.
and zoom in if you would? We see 3 tabs there. What are you looking for in those areas?
Those are 3 additional red-brown stains that I performed further testing on.
And do you have the results of that testing?
So I performed a screening test on each of those tests, and each of those screening tests was positive. I performed a confirmatory test on stains A and C, which were also positive. I did not perform that test on stain B due to its small size.
If you could zoom out just a little bit, please. Similar to the sweatshirt, there's long cuts through the front of that T-shirt. Is your analysis and opinion any different than the similar cuts that you saw on the sweatshirt?
Yes, I did not perform any additional analysis on those area of damage due to the fact that they're most likely attributed to the emergency medical technicians or medical personnel removing that item of clothing.
Thank you. You could take that down, please, Ms. Gilman. And for the final piece of clothing, did you have a chance to look at pants?
I did look at a pair of jeans,
Bonus.
yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Judges, thank you. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for
I
the
gave
game.
you 2 photographs. The first one, do you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is a photograph of the front of the pair of jeans, item 7-1.
Could you look at the second photograph, please? Do you recognize what's in that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph of the back of the pair of jeans, item 7-1.
Do both of those photographs fairly depict what you saw when you examined the clothing?
Yes, I do.
I'd move these to evidence, please.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Exhibits 149A and B.
With the court's permission, I'd show P242, which is 149A, to the jury.
Okay.
Was there anything of note when you examined these pants?
These pants also had linear damage between the top and the bottom, which would be consistent with cuts made by emergency medical personnel when removing the item.
If we could zoom in to show those cuts, Ms. Gilman.
Oh, hell.
And could we scroll down, please? Thank you. If we could next show P243, which is 149B. Could you zoom in on the top part of those pants, please? Do you make any observations or notes about the pants?
May I look at my notes, please?
With the court's permission, please. Thank you.
I saw people saying that they were like grass stains. They're like, how did he get grass stains if he was in snow?
I noted numerous red-brown stains on the clothing, as well as dirt and debris on the clothing.
What part of the pants did you note the dirt and debris?
It was just a general observation. I didn't specifically denote where it was.
Ms. Gilman, could you scroll from the top to the bottom of the pants, please?
Judges, thank you.
Thank you. You can take that down, please. Did you perform any additional testing relative to the clothing that you examined, that being the sweatshirt, the T-shirt, and the pants?
I performed numerous tests on each of the red-brown stains on the items that I marked.
After you completed examining the red and brown stains, did you do any other type of testing or evidence collection relative to the clothing?
Yes, I did.
Could you share with the jury what you did as far as further evidence collection relative to the clothing?
Can we take it item by item? How would
Sure
you prefer
can.
to do it?
Let's start with the sweatshirt.
Okay. So in addition to testing the red-brown stains, I collected any stain that was positive or confirmatory for blood. After performing that collection, I also performed a collection around the tears on the right sleeve of the item. That's using 2 cotton swabs moistened with sterile water, which I vigorously rubbed around the areas of the teared areas on the sleeve.
Whoa.
I also performed an additional scraping and swabbing of the unstained area of the sweatshirt for any potential skin cell recovery. In addition, I performed a debris collection from the sweatshirt.
I want to stop you there. I want you to explain to us in some detail what is a debris collection and how do you undergo a debris collection?
After I've completed all the testing that I'm going to do on the item, I remove any large items that may be present on the item, such as apparent hairs or fibers, anything that I can pick off, I can visibly see with a pair of tweezers. Once that is done, I will do I did a general debris collection where I took a large metal spatula-shaped object and scraped the clothing, or in this particular case, the sweatshirt. And any debris that came off the sweatshirt was put into a glassine fold and preserved.
Before you tried to scrape off any debris that was on the sweatshirt, could you, to your own eye, see any debris in the sweatshirt?
May I check my notes?
Yes.
Duchess, thank you.
In this particular case, I did pick off a couple of pieces of what I termed black debris. I made no additional analysis of that item. I packaged that separately, and then the scrapings themselves, I did not make any observations of anything contained in those scrapings. So there was nothing of note that I could have put in my notes to further classify them.
When you do the scraping, is there a table or a desk that you would see small pieces or difficult pieces? How do you contain what you're scraping from an item?
I lay out a piece of glassine paper, which is approximately 6 inches by 6 inches, and I scrape the debris into that glassine, and then I fold it up and put it in an additional envelope to prevent anything from falling out.
So if there's any debris, you would fold it in the glassine and then put that in a separate envelope?
Yes, that's correct.
And did you continue to study and scrape the other pieces of clothing?
Yes, I performed that same type of scraping on the orange t-shirt. That scraping was combined with the scrapings from the sweatshirt. I performed the same scraping on the jeans as well as the boxer shorts.
In that scraping process, did you
boxers.
acquire debris?
Yes, there was some visible debris.
How small were the pieces?
I did not make any measurements of it.
Why not?
That's done by a different analysis unit, so I didn't do any type of analysis on that
Oh,
debris.
hell, so many analysis units.
How small or large were the pieces of debris that you scraped from the clothing?
I did not take any measurements of them.
How did you store the debris that you scraped from the clothing?
It was put into a glassine fold, given a separate item number, and then put into a larger glassine fold so that it could be tracked throughout the laboratory.
Do you have that item number?
Yes, I do. So the debris from the sweatshirt and t-shirt was item 7-18.18.
I'm going to ask you one more time for that number.
7-18.18.
And that's the debris that you scraped from the shirt and the sweatshirt.
Correct.
Did you do any debris scrapings from the pants?
Yes, I did.
Was any debris produced from the pants?
Yes.
Was it similarly packaged?
Hell.
Yes, that's correct.
Was there a different item number given for the pants?
Yes.
And what was that item number?
May I check my notes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge sounded crazy as hell.
That item number, the
Yeah,
debris
thank
from
you.
the jeans, was 7-1.8.
Oh God, I think that's it. Oh, and they cut it off right there. No. All right, let's do some deep dive action, y'all. Let's do some deep dive action. TikTok, hit that follow button. Andrew, thank you. Oh, 5 of them? You crazy as hell. Thank you. Y'all, do me a favor. TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new. Hit the follow button if you're new. But we're going to dive into some stuff that's too hot for the talk, if you know what I'm saying. They don't let me talk about things on TikTok. They get mad. You know how TikTok is about everything. So y'all come over to YouTube, The Mystery Project. Everybody right now, come on over. We're going to go and check out some more stuff that TikTok doesn't want you to see. So The Mystery Project on YouTube. Type it in the chat so everybody knows. The Mystery Project. Y'all ready? Come on over. We're going there right now. We'll go in there right now. I'll see you guys in a second. And YouTube. Holy hell. Are you guys ready for this? Bam! Bam! Oh, no. All right, let's go through this stuff. Let's go through clothes not examined by the lab until 2023. A year and 4 months after. That is crazy. Is that true, though? I have no idea. What does this say? What does this say? How is Judge Beverly allowed to swear towards an attorney in Massachusetts District Court, even though it's under her breath? This is a form of harassment, should not be tolerated. Really? Let's hear it.
All in their in his cruiser.
Sustained injuries, I'm going to actually strike that question. Disregard.
I need to be heard at sidebar.
I will hear you.
Ooh. Did she say effing a-hole?
All in their in his cruiser.
Did y'all hear that? Oh, man, you crazy as hell, Judge. Did you guys know that? And they're laughing at it too. That is crazy.
In his cruiser.
Sustained injuries, I'm going to
Oh my God. What else we got? Welcome to Judge Bev's court. You're an asshole for requesting a sidebar when you're a corrupt cop. She'll die on the hill protecting you, Karen Reed. Oh no. Moments ago, Karen Reed trial judge calls Boston defender attorney an asshole under her breath on an open mic when he asked for a sidebar. Oh, this is the video of it? Let's see.
Questions together.
I will hear you.
That is nuts, y'all. The dishonorable judge. Just a reminder, Karen Reed was loved by John's children before the McAlberts murdered him, lied to the children that Karen did it, and then forced them to testify against her twice. Karen showed me these pictures 2 years ago and asked me not to share them, likely because you didn't want them to exploit them. That's his niece and nephew, right, that he was taking care of? Wow. Wow. Is it the McAlberts? Is that who? Is that who? What do y'all think? Let me know. Let's keep going. Ring doorbell from 507 shows her hit the brakes and her vehicle brake lights are perfectly fine. But the CW says she completely damaged her passenger tail light earlier at 12:31. Case closed. Karen Reed didn't hit anyone. Ooh. I mean, if you crack your tail light, you're going to see it. It's going to be white, not red. Look at that. Oh, it's solid red on the snow. Look at that. It's solid red on the snow. If anything is broken, you're going to see it just light up. It's not going to be perfectly symmetrical red like that. That's a little crazy, huh? It's the McCabe Albert family. Oh, the McAlbert. I see. That's pretty nuts, though, right there. I mean, let's see. John O'Keefe was hit by a car, then hit in the back of his head on hard as rock ground, and incapacitated him immediately. How is the front of his shirt covered in blood? That's some good questions, too. That's some good questions, too. How would that happen? How would that happen? Y'all let me know. Let's keep going. What is this?
Evaluated. So then they brought us down to the room where my son was a nurse or a worker at the hospital. And I said, what is she doing here? And she said, oh, she's being psych evaluated. So then they brought us down to the room where my son was.
Oh, because his mom didn't like her, right? The mom never liked her. The 20-plus people who allegedly framing a drunk driver for driving recklessly are super lucky that Karen Reed woke up from her drunken slumber and panicked that she possibly hit John with the car. Oh my God, there you go. This person doesn't think so. Karen Reed's a cold, manipulated, murdering marriage. Whoa. Okay. Remember the grave concerns that Judge Beverly had when the Commonwealth falsely, prejudicially embedded bumper. What?
None of these pieces of apparent glass were embedded in the bumper, correct?
No, they were resting on the bumper.
So by not being embedded and just resting on the bumper, you therefore did not make a notation that they were embedded in your notes. You just put that they were on the bumper, correct?
That's correct.
And sort of as we're elaborating here, you're elaborating, they were just, as your words, they were just resting on the bumper.
Correct.
None of
Oh, hell.
The damage is to the right. The damage is to the right rear corner panel of the defendant's vehicle. Embedded within the bumper to that vehicle is pieces of cocktail glass. The victim, Mr. O'Keefe, is last observed on surveillance video, external surveillance video from the Waterfall establishment that he left just prior to going to 34 Fairview, with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm that's injured, the same type of glass that is then recovered from the bumper of the defendant's car.
This is the first I've heard of the Commonwealth's new position after, 15, 16 months, that somehow John O'Keefe was stabbed or cut up with a broken cocktail glass, which would produce
What?
these injuries. That makes absolutely no sense. It just doesn't pass the sniff test. These are not from a cocktail glass. Who did that to him? Is there new theory that Karen Reed got out of the car, broke a cocktail glass, then wielded an edge of that cocktail glass and cut up John's arm? Then John stood there while she jumps in the car, slams it into reverse, then hits him with the car, with her tail light in the back of the head. It makes absolutely no sense.
Anything else, Mr. Lally?
Just briefly, Your Honor, as it pertains to Commonwealth would agree that attributing the cuts on Mr. O'Keefe's arm in their entirety to cocktail glass would be somewhat ridiculous. That's not what I said. And that's not what I was attributing them to. And I think the court understood that, but just so counsel understands that as well. As pieces of a cocktail glass. The victim, Mr. O'Keefe, is last observed on surveillance video, external surveillance video from the Waterfall establishment that he left just prior to going to 34 Fairview, with a cocktail glass in his right hand. Same arm.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a cocktail glass. Karen Reed was not sick yesterday. Apparently, the killer princess. What? What do they got to say? Let's hear.
Karen Reed has spoken previously about her diagnoses for Crohn's disease and multiple sclerosis, but her father said just a short time ago those were not the reasons that she needed a break.
I feel great, thank you.
Karen Reed did not explain why she asked for the one-day pause in her trial. Her father said it's because
she asked for it? She can just say that? That's crazy. You're on trial for murder and you can just be like, not today.
she's been working long hours with her attorneys.
She needed more sleep and she got it yesterday, and so she's doing fine.
That is nuts. That is nuts. Crazy. I think that's all the relevant details for tonight. Y'all. Oh, if you see something, tag me in it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new. Go watch some of the Haunted Side on YouTube. It's going to kick you over to the ghost hunting stuff. Go check that stuff out. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night.